What I Carry by Jennifer Longo. First Chapter Friday Read Aloud video with The Word Nerd. Today as you listen, play along. Watch for the story quote that will appear on screen. Write it down word by word and then follow the instructions given to you by your teacher. Stay all the way to the end to see if you've written it down correctly.
Hi, my name is Amanda Ziba. Welcome to my channel Learning with the Word Nerd and another First Chapter Friday video. This week I'm going to be reading to you from What I Carry by Jennifer Longo. But before we get into this book, I want to tell you that it is about foster care, and there are many other books on my channel that feature this topic. So I just want to do a quick shout out for them. So if you are interested in learning more about foster care, or you personally are living in foster care, or a friend is and you want to know more about that experience, there's lots of books on it. And one amazing thing about books is that we can use them to help us figure out how to navigate a tricky thing that we or someone else in our life is going through. So, Greetings from Witness Protection is another book that kind of sort of includes foster care in a weird-ish way. A Place to Hang the Moon by Kate Albus is historical fiction that features foster care. The War That Saved My Life by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley, probably one of my most favorite books ever. Both of these actually deal with foster care during World War II, so they have that in common. Free Verse by Sarah Dooley, and One for the Murphys by Linda Mullally Hunt, and Fighting Words, also by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. Also all deal with foster care in the modern time period, a contemporary time period, just like What I Carry does. So I'm going to read you the back of this book so that you know a little bit more what it's about, and then I will read you chapter 1. Growing up in foster care, Muir has an unbreakable rule. Pack light. Toothbrush? Yes. Socks? Yes. Friends? Family? A boyfriend? No way. She knows better than to weigh herself down with additional baggage. And now Muir has just 1 year left before she ages out of the system. All she has to do is make it through senior year and she can start living life on her own terms. But then she meets Francine, and Kira, and Sean, and everything changes. I absolutely love this book. I will say it's for a little bit of an older audience. The characters are in high school and experience high school type things. So if you were in 6th or 7th grade, I'd maybe just set this one aside for a little bit and pick it up in 8th grade if you were 8th grade and older. This one's definitely for you and you're going to love it. So chapter 1 of What I Carry by Jennifer Longo. You will never in all your life meet a person who packs a better suitcase than I do. And I'll tell you right now, the secret is not organization, it's simplification. Get rid of your crap. Do not own things in the first place. Surrender the weight of what you carry in the wild world is yours. Pack light. Which sounds easy. When in doubt, go without and all that. But to achieve true freedom, you must be brutal as a consumer. Is dental floss for sale? 2 for 1? Don't fall for it. One extra thing taking up room to pack and repack, and besides that, what if all your teeth fall out and you never have to use it? Now you're the dummy hauling around extra floss for no reason. Yes, floss. Insignificant weight until you add it to that pen you bought, the t-shirt you had to have, and the non-travel size thing of shampoo until one day you wake up dragging the weight of a rolling suitcase taller and heavier than your own body, and you're exhausted, trying to keep track of all these things you've convinced yourself you need. Where did I leave that? Did somebody take the other? Why can't I find my socks underneath all these stupid boxes of floss? Trapped. My packing credentials were passed to me from my namesake and honed since my birth straight into the foster care system and never adopted. The longest I've lived in any house is 11 months, and now I'm 17 years old, so you do the math. At school, people sometimes ask me what it's like to live this way, which I suppose for kids who lost or were removed from a family they once lived with and maybe loved, it's a legit question. But for me, it's like asking a person born blind what it's like to not see. It's not like anything. I've got no objective context because I was left newborn, nameless, cord still attached, and jonesing for meth at the John Muir Medical Center in California. A foundling. When no one came to claim me, the NICU nurses named me for him. Child Protective Services let them put Muriel on my birth certificate, and I have grown into it. On my 8th birthday, my social worker, Joellen, picked me up and we walked a wooded Seattle path along the shore of Salish Sea. and she told me how lucky I am to carry the honor of his name. Muir, a Scottish naturalist, father of our natural parks, a guy who slept outside nearly his whole life. We sat beside the water and unwrapped her gift to me. Not a toy or the glitter hair barrettes I'd secretly hoped for, but a book. The Wilderness World of John Muir, a weighty hardback anthology of Muir's best writing about nature, curated by another naturalist, Edwin Way Teale, who arranged the essays in a way that makes them also a biography of Muir's life. I mean, birthday dream of an 8-year-old girl's everywhere. Am I right? The transcendental nature of the half of the vocabulary in the book were well beyond me, of course, because 3rd grade. But Joellen has all my life been more about what I need than what I think I want. I skipped rocks and she told me Muir's story like it was mine, his days a timeline of my own. Muir's life was about protecting the natural world because nature is vulnerable and it can't defend itself against people. Any fool can destroy trees. They cannot run away. I nodded. She read a passage to me and marked it so I could find it again. Standing alone on the mountaintop, it is easy to realize that whatever special nests we make, leaves and moss like the marmots and the birds, or tents and piled stone, we all dwell in a house of one room. The world, with the firmament for its roof, are sailing the celestial spaces without leaving any track. All living things, we are one family, she said, together in one home, sleeping beneath the same stars. With my pinky finger, I petted the illustrated black bears hiding in the forest trees on the cover. I did not know what first edition meant. Joellen put her hand on my head and made me look at her. Muriel, do you understand? Not that day, but Joellen planted the seed of Muir's wisdom that grew into the truth that comforts me now. He lived nearly all his life more at home outside than in, and I understand why. Every house I've lived in smells different. The rules and the beds and the people are never the same, but one walk outside and I am always home, beneath the same sky. Alone is not lonely. Nothing to miss, nothing and no one to wish for or search for. John Muir set me free. He walked thousands of miles over mountain ranges and forded rivers and slept in trees and deserts and forests and carried with him only a washcloth, a bar of soap, a loaf of bread, a compass, and oddly, a stack of heavy books he felt were as vital as the bread, which I think is ridiculous. So I see his books and raise him one library card. But as Muir loved Thoreau, I love Muir. So every new house, every move, I pack in that book, The Wilderness World, in with the socks. Socks are important. Warm, dry feet are key to movement and therefore to freedom. Socks are packed, pressed flat together, and rolled tight, like well-made sushi. 2 pairs of shoes, indoor and outdoor, 1 raincoat, 1 lightweight warm coat, 7 sausage-rolled shirts, 3 pairs of pants, 1 pair of shorts, 2 sets of pajamas, 3 bras, 7 rolled-up pairs of underwear. Basically, your suitcase should look like a grocery store deli platter of cotton pinwheel party sandwiches. Exactly a week's worth of outfits. Laundry on Sunday. No new item of clothing is allowed in unless one old item is removed. Anything reversible is twice as welcome in any well-packed suitcase. Seriously, I could give a TED talk on this shit, and oh, let's not forget the holy grail of packing, the toiletry kit. Flat, water-resistant nylon and plastic, 4 refillable bottles for soap and shampoo, pocket for nail clippers, razors, tampons, hair ties, toothbrush, toothpaste, and your one floss. I can pack and be out of any house in 4 minutes flat. Except this day. 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Dying in sweltering summer heat in a bedroom crammed with bunk beds the day after my 17th birthday, I kept Joellen waiting while I debated for the 100th and maybe the last time the merits of abandoning a secret I carry that renders my John Muir packing TED Talk a bunch of hypocritical garbage. Hidden among the sushi socks and sausage shirts is a stash of compulsion in a blue and white striped pillowcase tied in a knot. A sieve of burden and humiliation that in each house catches new things I collect and carry with me year after year, and I don't know why. Muir would be so disappointed. Or maybe he would understand. When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe, he says. Little blackbird nest, Joellen said one time she saw it, while helping me pack in 5th grade. I rushed to hide it. Not everything has to be useful to be loved, she said. In my experience, that's debatable. Besides, these things I carry are not loved. A ship does not love the barnacles clinging to its hull. Still, even on this August day, I could not bear to let them go. I held the bag of worthless loot and agonized until Zola, the small girl who had slept in the bunk beneath mine for the last few months, came in. Here, she said, and put a small metal thing in my hand. An Allen wrench. In case you get lonely, she said. Okay? I nodded. How was swim class? I asked. You put your head under water yet? Didn't go. Why not? She shrugged. Oh, Zola, I said as I sat on her bed. You have to remind her. This foster mom liked to think she was well intended, a white lady who, instead of providing kindness and understanding, had a penchant for calling the police for minor offenses. And she was as forgetful as hell, especially, it seemed, with Zola's very few activities. Will you come see me? Ever? She asked. Can I write to you? I rolled the wrench around in my palm. Not sure writing is allowed, I lied, but you never know when you'll see someone again. Zola's face fell. My eyes stung. I didn't want to keep Joellen waiting, and besides, if she had her way, this was maybe the last of packing, unpacking, packing, and unpacking. So I dropped the Allen wrench into the pillowcase, removed one of the things and slipped it into my pocket, retied the knot, and carried it all in my perfect suitcase to her waiting car. To one last foster house. You want to come out? Zola nodded and trudged beside me. Joellen was in her usual spot at the curb to give the foster mom time to say goodbye to me because she always thinks parents will miss me, which is not entirely true. It's just that the older I get, the more helpful I am around the house, and that is what they will miss. I don't blame them. Most foster parents are overworked and exhausted, and I'm not only a burden, but often useful. Sometimes I feel bad for leaving, like I'm ditching a job knowing there's no new employee to take on my duties. This foster mom hugged me and said she wished I didn't have to go. Maybe you'll be back though, she sniffed. A bad penny always turns up. I ran back into the house and fetched a wad of toilet paper from the bathroom because she was crying a little, and the house tissue box was empty. On my way out, I added Kleenex to the magnetic shopping list on the fridge and Zola swim class 8 a.m. to every Tuesday square in August on the paper calendar tacked to the wall. Zola hugged me tight around my middle, and I let her and felt my throat swelling tight. So I turned to the newest kid, a boy whose arrival this morning made my being here untenable. No more room at the inn. He's younger and needs it more. Our ages and genders can't share a bedroom. He did not hug me because he is 10 years old and scared and also doesn't know me. So I waved to him, alone on the porch swing. I let Zola squeeze me a few more seconds. I put my hand on her head for a moment and then took the porch steps two at a time. Joellen popped the hatch of her worn-out Subaru, the car I've ridden in since I was still in a 5-point car seat harness, and I tossed my suitcase in. Leaning against the passenger seat, she, small white lady, permed brown curls framing around her face, middle-aged but unlined, unlocked my door and smiled up at me. She's shorter than me, and I'm barely 5'5". She sits on a pillow to drive. Ready? She smiled again. What's a bad penny? I asked. Why would it always turn up? She took her hand off the wheel. Who said that? No one. Just wondering. Well, it's like bad decisions come back to haunt you, or a bad person keeps showing up where they're not wanted. Like that. Why? I looked forward to the road, not back at the house, not at Zola, alone on the porch. She'll be okay. She'll be fine. She'll go home soon, I told myself. One more year, starting today. All I have to do is stay unnoticed and unadopted until my 18th birthday, and I'm free. Let's go, I said, and buckled myself in. If you want to find out what happens next to Muir and this next year of her life before she ages out of foster care, you should totally pick up a copy of What I Carry. I loved this book, and I think that you will too. I'm also going to put that list of other books about foster care on a slide here at the end, and also list them in the video description box so that you can grab them if you want them. As always, you can hopefully find them at your school library, your local public library, your favorite local indie bookstore. And if you can't, I will always link them for their Amazon purchase links in the video description box. Thanks so much for joining me for this First Chapter Friday video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll come back again for more. I'll see you again next time. Happy reading.
This week's mystery quote was a long one. Let's see if you got them all down correctly. Home is just a soft place to land in between adventures or trouble. It's a harbor, not an anchor. Be brave, see the world, and know you always have a safe place to come back to. To continue reading What I Carry by Jennifer Longo, pick up a copy from your school library, purchase one from your favorite local indie bookstore, or grab it via the link in the description box. Also look for more books featuring the topic of foster care. I'll put a link in the video description box for each of these. And as always, don't forget to check out the full First Chapter Friday playlist. I've got more than 160 novels waiting there for you. Thanks so much for visiting my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd. Please like this video and subscribe, and come back again next time for more First Chapter Friday videos, direct teaching videos, brain breaks, and more. See you again next